Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/slash Tales from Your Server. In today's episode, I had the audacity to charge her for the food she ate. I'm not paying for this gross food. Now get me a to-go box. Apparently I gave the worst service ever. Had a table get mad at me for telling a man not to panhandle on our patio. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. I had the audacity to charge her for the food she ate. It's a standard Friday night, just getting started when my manager gives me a table, normally the host's job, and tells me that this couple gave them a really hard time at the host stand and to anticipate their bad attitude. No problem. I'm usually the go-to guy in these situations, and 9.5 times out of 10 I'll turn it around and end up with 20% in my pocket. Well, not today. I greet the table, husband and wife, mid-late 60s by the look of it, with bread and a drink list. Immediately the wife, who has like a psychotic resting B*TCH face by the way, is complaining about the temperature and the lighting. Both things I can adjust, so I oblige, and get the air and lighting for the whole F*King restaurant to her optimal levels. I come back with her tapped Chardonnay and ask her if everything is to her liking. With a resounding may I ask for their entree orders. Hubby gets a ribeye and mashed potatoes, wife gets a lobster crunch roll, sushi for you East Coasters, as her entree. Fast forward a few minutes, food has gone out, I drop by to check on them. Wife says her lobster roll is terrible, she had eaten 1/4 of it, and wanted to know what I planned to do about it. I told her she wouldn't be charged for the sushi, and that I would be happy to bring her a menu / get something else started. She gets all fussy over the fact that her husband's food is out and she doesn't want to wait, and the husband, who was a trooper by the way, kept complimenting me and the food, interjected just bring a menu. The moment I dropped the menu, I made a recommendation that she try our short ribs, as it's a dish we generally can have ready in under 5 minutes. Again she gets all fussy and the husband says to her, you love short ribs, you get it all the time. Finally, and with great reluctance, she asks for me to bring the short ribs, but only if we modify the ingredients to her liking. Well, of course, we're the type of restaurant to wipe your as if you asked us, so sure, it's no issue. I bring it out for her while her husband still has most of his steak. First reaction? What is all this *T? Oh miss, that's a beef-based gravy, as it says on our menu. I can have my chefs remove it for you if you'd like, it's really no trouble. She throws her fork at the table and readjusts her plate in front of her, no it's fine, and then starts angrily scraping the gravy off with her steak knife. I walked away F*King laughing under my face mask. Over the next 5 minutes I watched her absolutely scarf down half of the short rib, so I had to assume it was good. I dropped by to check, is this one tasting better than that lobster roll? She fires back quickly, well, it's not what I ordered. Matter of fact, we're all done, you can pack everything up, motions towards her husband's steak which he is literally taking a bite of. So I took his steak out from under him and packed up the food. Offered dessert, no thank God, here's your check whenever you are ready. I took off the lobster roll, but you best believe I was gonna charge for her short ribs considering she ate half and took the rest to go. To my surprise they put their card in the book, so I went and ran their check. On the drop-off, before I could say anything, the wife says, I just want to let you know, I'm not leaving you a cent, and here's why. I can't believe you would have the audacity to charge me for the short ribs and for my wine when you guys couldn't make me the meal I wanted how I wanted it. This was ridiculous. And without skipping a beat I snapped back, I completely understand how you might feel that way, but I would just like to let you know that I have very little control over the quality of the food as a server, and furthermore, I have no control over our policy as far as what we charge when we have to replace an item. I totally would have gotten them drinks or dessert or something if not for her toxic attitude. At every opportunity one tried my best to provide you with a good experience, and if you feel that you didn't have one today, then I completely understand why you wouldn't want to leave a tip. Aside from that folks, thanks for stopping by and I hope you'll have a great night. Mic drop. Of course she went and chewed my manager out on the way out the door, but he came and commended me, and agreed that we don't need that type of clientele coming back anyway. I'm not paying for this gross food. Now get me a to-go box. I was a server in a family-run fine dining restaurant in my small town. The type of place you go for a special occasion. One night a guy on a four-top kicks up a fuss about his main course, chicken fettuccine alfredo. He won't be placated or order something else, so eventually I get permission from the manager to comp his whole meal. After I tell the guy this, he angrily points to his half-eaten plate of gross, free alfredo, and says now box up these leftovers for me to take home. I informed him that's gonna be a big nope from us, took his plate and scraped it all in the trash. Apparently I gave the worst service ever. It finally happened. In my 5+ years of my serving career, I've never had anyone until last night tip me a straight-up penny. On their receipt they took care to write worst service ever. And I can't tell you how frustrating this is. Like most places right now, we were understaffed and our kitchen crew of 3 guys was pushing out food as fast as they could, but ticket times were still long. However, the food is worth the wait, as I was told by many guests. This table was a 6-top who had their 6th person order late. Food took a while, but it came out hot, and when I checked on them, they didn't have complaints. I kept their drinks filled, other than being given a frozen beer by my bartender and not noticing, and having to bring the customer a fresh beer. But apparently this was the worst service they'd ever had. I know that at the end of the day, it's really only the A****s who would even bother to go out of their way to make someone feel sh**tty, but it still hits me hard. I guess I just needed to vent to perhaps someone who would understand, because I've honestly never had this happen, and it just feels super demeaning after running my ass off last night. Had a table get mad at me for telling a man not to panhandle on our patio. I work in a downtown restaurant, there's a few homeless people here and there. Some are sweet, some s***ck. So, this guy is walking around the outside of our patio asking people for money. I tell him he can't do that and he has to leave. He starts screaming at me that I don't own the sidewalk. Right off the bat gets in my face. I drop off drinks at a table and proceed to get back in his face and tell him he needs to leave now. I am an average size woman, I'm overworked, underpaid, and I am f***ing done with men screaming in my face. We yell back and forth while I am using my body and my yelling to shoo him. He keeps saying, "What are you gonna do about it?" I tell him I'm gonna call the cops. They're right down the block. I finally get him to a safe distance away from the patio and go inside to get the phone. He is, of course, gone at this point. I was terrified. I was shaking. I've dealt with this guy before. He harasses me and other women all the time. And gets violent when he doesn't get his way sometimes. I go out and smooth things over with customers outside, most of them understand. One table is thankful and tells me they were impressed with how I handled the situation. However, one woman tells me he wasn't hurting anyone, and it was super unnecessary to tell him I was going to call the cops. To which I tell her he gets violent and harasses people all the time, and that what he was doing was illegal. It just kid that I put myself in harm's way making $2.13 per hour and I just can't catch a break. Like, you don't work here every day, you don't know what I have to put up with. Feels like no matter what route we take we always end up losing. It was a pretty helpless feeling day. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.